Turning away from that conversation to our defense and intelligence posture. As you may have heard, U.S. intelligence has killed a major, what is being presented as a major terror threat, and I might add, credibly so, an American-born individual, an Al-Qaeda leader. You may have heard the name Anwar Al-Awlaki or Al-Aulaqi. I have a hard time with his last name. Al-Aulaqi was known as the next generation of Al-Qaeda. It was known for using social media like Facebook and YouTube to inspire lone wolf terrorists. It gets better. He's said to have had ties to nearly every major planned attack on the United States. That includes the failed underwear bomber, the deadly Fort Hood shooter, and the foiled Times Square bomber. Remember him? Not to mention a connection to 3 of the 9/11 hijackers. Sounds like a bad guy. President Obama weighed in on it earlier today.
Death of Al-Aulaqi is a major blow to Al-Qaeda's most active operational affiliate. He took the lead in planning and directing efforts to murder innocent Americans.
The expanded U.S. drone program we told you about earlier this week, by the way, was in fact utilized. It was a drone that killed Al-Aulaqi. Now, let's be phenomenally clear. There is no question that the world may be a safer place with this man's death. He was clearly working on multiple levels to provide support and action to harm American interests. But there may be 2 more interesting and controversial issues that this brings up. Number 1, is it really in our long-term interest to have remote-controlled drones flying what seems like all around the world in a web, taking people out on remote control at the individual discretion of whoever the sitting president of this country is? And 2, should it be legal for the president or the U.S. government to murder a U.S. citizen, regardless of how horrible they may be, without giving them the rights of a U.S. citizen in due process? And who do you trust to make that decision? Our Friday mega panel, MSNBC contributors Touré and Crystal Ball, along with Ari Berman, contributing writer for The Nation. You're nodding your head. Why?
It's absolutely very frightening for us to be killing U.S. citizens without due process.
This is a bad guy.
We know that, but what do we do with U.S. citizens? We put them through a trial. So I would like to see, even though we have this evidence, if it's so clear-cut, arrest him, put him in solitary confinement, put him through a trial, give him death penalty if that's what we're going to do. I'm very nervous at killing people without due process, even though this situation seems clear. The next time, it won't be so clear.
We get it.
It'll be like, well, this is
the home of the slippery slope.
Yeah.
Well, and think about where we have come, and by we, I mean the left. Where have we come from? We used to be outraged.
Are you calling me left?
No, I'm not. I'm calling me and whoever else wants to affiliate with the left. All right, not you, Dylan. You're whatever you want to be.
You're post-partisan.
I am. I'm here to help.
Don't offend the host.
Yes,
That's the number one rule of being on the show.
No.
So think of this, though. We used to be outraged at unauthorized.
The left used to be outraged.
Yeah, at unauthorized, warrantless wiretapping. Now the president of the United States,
elected by the left,
whoever they may be, we're not always going to have Barack Obama, can single out any U.S. citizen and be judge, jury, and executioner with no oversight. None.
Okay. So I want you to put yourself in the shoes of a typical conservative viewer. Listening to this mamby-pamby conversation about how terrible it is and, oh, my goodness, how can we go doing this? This guy was a terrorist. We are in a war. We are in a situation where there are individuals who are, and that's, by the way, not in dispute. There are individuals, whether it was this one or somebody else, who are actively working on a regular basis to try to perpetrate harm to the interest of America. And so all Crystal and Touré and it's all lovely that you are worried about the democracy. I got to prevent people from getting killed, and the best way to do that is with drones on my discretion. That's a hard thing to get past.
Yeah, so let me put my Tea Party hat on and then argue against the Tea Party at the same time. Which
please do.
Number
this
one,
is easy.
What's the potential blowback? So we use these drones all the time in Afghanistan. They kill innocent men and women. That leads to more attacks on U.S. troops.
They call that collateral damage.
But that puts our troops, number one, at more risk. Number two, what if it gets flipped and China and Russia start doing it? What if they start taking out places? What if U.S. people, what if Americans are
Then it'll
caught
be like
in the
Star
crosshairs?
Wars. Star Wars, basically.
Well, if Americans are getting killed, it won't be a very cool version of Star Wars.
No, it will not. that's a bumper sticker. You got anything else on the rebuttal?
Well, I would just say, in terms of, I think it's a good rule of thumb, and I don't know if it's necessarily a conservative position, but if it was right under Bush, it's right under Obama, and if it was wrong under Bush, it's wrong under Obama. And so I think that's the standard. What's the precedent we're setting here? And I agree with Tori and Crystal, this is a very dangerous precedent.
I mean, you talk about it's a bad guy, but
and he's
very
bad.
And he's trying
he wants to kill you.
Right, he's trying to damage Americans, right? But we are damaging the fabric of what America is by changing America to say we don't need due process to try to kill or to go out and kill this person who wants to harm us. That we have to still be America properly.
And if you're a constitutional conservative, you have to care about the Constitution, and these are one of the most basic rights of the Constitution,
which is due process.
Yeah.
The panel stays. The conversation continues straight ahead.